Now, things in Formula 1 keep getting spicier and spicier. Lando Norris has relearned how to secure a pole position, but just like Sochi 2021, he manages to fumble the win. In a different way this time, without spinning out in the rain, but still pretty much the same thing. But something in Formula 1 that will forever stay extra spicy. No, not your Nando's order, but the driver market. And especially this year's driver market is looking kind of flaming hot. Last year, it was a bit bland and boring. There was like one change and that was it. Very boring. Nobody cares. It put me to sleep. But this year's silly season is more sillier than ever. This year's silly season is entertaining. This year's silly season deserves its own video. And no, it's not clear. It's not clear and obvious what might happen. Of course, there are some teams which have already secured some certain drivers, and other teams which have dropped certain drivers, whether they've been good or whether they've been treacherous. That's up to you to decide. But hey, today we're going to be doing the unthinkable. We're going to be taking that little delusional pill and trying to predict the 2025 grid for every single team.
Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, Aston, Alpine, Williams, RB, Haas, Sauber.
Now, let's be real, I'm going to get every single one wrong, but in the case where everything is correct, then I think I deserve a gold medal, an Oscar, a Euros trophy. You know what? Just hand it to me, P.O. Box. You do that, I probably deserve it if everything's correct.
In the comments, let me know your guys' predictions for next year, and like and subscribe whilst you're down there. Otherwise, you're a fake and a fraud, and Verstappen will keep winning every single race. There'll be no championship fight, and the season will be over.
I'm extremely sorry to start off with the bland and boring because it's already been confirmed, but I think we kind of have to talk about it. Sergio Perez has re-signed a contract for Red Bull next year. Not sure why, when a Red Bull is winning a race every single race, or pretty much every single race, qualifying at the top of the field, and Verstappen doing what Verstappen does best, winning.
But it's the win nonetheless, and it's a hat-trick of wins from Max Verstappen. It is Max Verstappen who wins the Spanish Grand Prix.
Anyway, and then playing the Dutch anthem when he's on the podium. But the other Red Bull garage looks much more miserable. Verstappen's side looks like a nice little beach in the south of France. It looks like a nice place to be. And then Sergio Perez's looks like a thunderstorm has just struck the entire garage. It's been raining, it's been cloudy, it's been misty. And, well, Sergio Perez's future kind of looks misty and cloudy because it's uncertain. Will he be dropped by mid-season, by the end of the season? Because if they lose the Constructors' Championship, I'm not sure whether Red Bull will keep wanting him. His services, not many services that he provides, what, 1 or 2 points in the last 4 or 5 races? Anyways, there's no way Verstappen leaves the team unless the team goes into a big decline. Adrian Newey leaves and the fan and everything's broken. And honestly, I'm not quite sure about that Sergio Perez contract. It might get ripped up, Yuki Tsunoda might replace him. Genuinely, who knows? That Red Bull team has been a whole kerfuffle for the longest time ever. Anything might happen, who knows? Christian Horner might step into the car one race weekend because Sergio Perez isn't performing. Anything could happen. It's honestly a dice roll. It's a casino, whether you're going to win or lose, whether Perez is going to stay or leave. Honestly, contracts don't mean anything in that team. Now, in yesterday's video, you should probably go, shameless plug, I'm sorry, won't do that. Anyways, I talked about how Lando Norris might potentially not be cut out for the winning ways in Formula 1. In Oscar Piastri, he is a tad off Lando Norris. Lando Norris meant to be the more experienced driver, and still, mistakes are creeping in. Oscar Piastri, the near rookie, okay, expected. He isn't going to be as good as Lando Norris. And honestly, I think the same thing will happen with Mercedes next year. George Russell is meant to be the father figure of that team, the person who is meant to lead the team forward and forward and forward. But still, we've seen many mistakes from him creep in. And much bigger mistakes than the sum that Lando Norris makes. And either way, even if Mercedes have a front-running car next year, I think it will be kind of chaotic, kind of what is happening, what are we doing? With that said, I think Antonelli is going to take that seat, and it might not be the greatest choice, because as we've seen with McLaren, Piastri and Norris, one meant to be good, one near rookie. George Russell, same thing, up here, meant to be experienced. I don't know about that one, Chief, whether he can actually perform. And then Antonelli, rookie, and who knows if they're going to be up there, not up there. it might hit the fan, things might not be going too well. Either way, Prema are struggling this year, but Antonelli has been given so many test seats with that Mercedes. He's been cooking, he's been doing well, and he's born and bred to be in Formula 1. FIA have reduced the age that you have to be, to drive Formula 1. Well, Antonelli, they want to secure him for the future, just like Red Bull wanted to secure Max Verstappen. And if Kimi Antonelli can get into that Mercedes, who knows what he might do. Maybe terrorize the field like Logan Sargent. Or maybe he'll pull a Lewis Hamilton season in 2007. Nearly win. We'll just have to wait and find out. Now. Things are starting to get interesting, aren't they? Formula 1, a bit interesting. And there's another interesting aspect to all of this. The whole Sainz contract negotiation situations. At the start, it was, he's 100% going to Audi. He's 100% going to Sauber. His dad has ties with that, and who knows? They might be cooking when they're Audi. And then it was Williams. James Vowles, he had his beady eyes on him saying, who is Carlos Sainz? Carlos Sainz is our main priority. But all of that has kind of been put at halt, put to stop. Because I think there's been a better option which has kind of arrived for Carlos Sainz. He's been spotted and rumoured been talking to the Alpine team, and I think that is actually a pretty good move. Alpine, they've secured a double point finish in Spain, and they're on the up and up. The trajectory of the team is moving upwards, skyrocketing to the ceiling. At the start of the season, agreed, they weren't that good, and Esteban Ocon was being Esteban Ocon.
Well done, guys. Well done.
But Carlos Sainz is a driver that deserves to be fighting at the top. Sauber at the moment, they have 0 points, they won't be able to provide that. Williams, they have 2 points, and also a pretty ass trash can team. They won't be able to provide that either. But Alpine, with their trajectory that they're on, who knows, they might climb up the field and Carlos Sainz might be with them next year fighting for decent points. I think that next year, the lineup for Alpine will be Pierre Gasly and Carlos Sainz. Dun dun dun, whoa! Hopefully if that happens, they can actually get along with each other and not create carnage and actually work together and score some decent points. Help that team out. Now, initially, the plan of Ricciardo's Formula 1 return was to go into that RB, slap up Yuki Tsunoda like it's nobody's business, show the world that he is better than Yuki Tsunoda, and then everyone be like, yeah, but it's just Yuki Tsunoda. And then after that, Sergio Perez is obviously going to be doing horribly, like he has been for the entirety of the season, except for the first odd 4 races where he was all right, I guess. Replace him, boom, 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 easy, then beats Verstappen, gets a world championship. World is completed. Daniel Ricciardo is happy, satisfied, and isn't crying like he was after Monaco 2016. But that has obviously and clearly changed. Yuki Tsunoda has been digging him a 2-foot deep grave. Yuki Tsunoda doesn't have time to dig a 6 feet deep grave because he's too busy scoring points, or on occasion spinning out on track. And with Sergio Perez re-signing a contract and Yuki Tsunoda probably being the more favourable option of Ricciardo and Yuki Tsunoda to maybe potentially replace Sergio Perez if his streak of unfortunate events keeps on brewing up, I think it's time for Daniel Ricciardo to look other ways. The sole and only reason that he's in that RB seat is to get into the Red Bull, but that's not happening, so what's the point? A couple races ago, I would be saying Daniel Ricciardo's aims were to get into the Red Bull seat, but now his aims are to stay in Formula 1. But I think that has kind of changed. I think that Daniel Ricciardo has finally got to grips with that car and is finally maybe similar to Yuki Tsunoda now. The car's pace in Spain wasn't anything extraordinary, but his qualifying was better than Yuki Tsunoda in the last 2 races. He finished higher than Yuki Tsunoda in the last 2 races. And I think he's back. He should be looking elsewhere. And what's a better place to look than a team that might be on the up and up? Take a gamble. Maybe potentially this might be your last move of your entire career. Honestly, take the gamble. If Sauber were to offer him a contract, I'd take it with open arms. With Audi buying out the team, it might be a good move. Nico Hülkenberg, Daniel Ricciardo, 2025, good pairing, good drivers. Sometimes maybe consistent drivers can score points. Both experienced drivers, both can help out the team. I believe that might actually happen because there's no point of him dilly-dallying in the RB again. I don't think he's going to get dropped by RB, but if he decides to leave on his own, go to, say, another team where the potential of the team is much higher than whatever RB is, It's obviously going to be awful. Take the fat gamble, take the risk. Sauber might have 0 points this season, but when Audi comes in, new regulations, who knows? They might be frying that saucepan like Chef Gordon Ramsay, like Ratatouille. 2025 in Sauber, I believe it will be Daniel Ricciardo and Hulkenberg. Well, that's already confirmed, but you know, Daniel Ricciardo. Aston Martin, a team that is meant to resemble class, luxury, a team that is meant to resemble silent killers like James Bond. Honestly, it was resembling that at the start of 2023, where it was classy and luxurious when Alonso was scoring all of those points. It was, well, Alonso was a silent killer, slapping up certain drivers who should have been on the podium, but no, Alonso was taking those podiums from him, or from them. And Alonso's got that seat for as long as he wants, because at the end of the day, it's Alonso. Aston Martin need a good experienced driver that, say, a championship brews up, someone will be there, because their secondary driver, not sure about that one, Chief. Now, it's not confirmed or anything, but let's be real. Lance Strolovich his name is written on that seat for the next 75 years. I might be 90 years old one day, I'll turn on Formula 1, watch the race, and still see Lance Stroll clucking around in that Aston Martin. It won't be his father's team anymore because, being realistic, his father won't live to be 140 years old. It'll be his team and he'll be driving in it, for the fun of it. Might be 3 laps slower, might be crashing out like he always does. He'll be on that team. I mean, Lance Stroll isn't the worst driver, he isn't the best, he isn't similar to Alonso, he's alright, I guess he does deserve the seat where the car is currently, so I guess it's not like it's going to change. His dad literally owns the team. If my son wanted to drive in my Formula 1 team, of course, go ahead, you play ball, you're alright, you're not the worst, you're not Logan Sargent, but you're not a worthy champion. Have the seat. Aston Martin 2025, no changes. Alonso, Lance Stroll, pretty obvious. Okay, well, I told you delusional means delusional, and I guess if I've taken the pill of the delusionalness, then I'm a bit delusional, because the Williams driver lineup might send you a little astray. I might have gone a tad little haywire, I might have to be sent to a medical clinic, be checked out. But I believe that this is something that nobody has talked about. I believe it's going to be interesting. Now, for starters, there is no way that Logan Sargent is keeping that seat. He hasn't been good, well, ever. 32-0 in qualifying against Alex Albon. In the races, in the season and a half that they've been teammates, he scored 1 point compared to Alex Albon's 29. Yeah, I think it's time to go. It's time to go. And plus, let's not forget that he has been crashing out. Agreed, Williams are nowhere near leading the Constructors, but I guess Logan Sargent is leading the Destructors Championship in the last 2 years, so fair play on that. But I think it's time we say bye-bye to you. Alex Albon, being realistic, has that contract for life unless he wants to leave. 2026 is when it expires, and I think he's going to wait out that contract because he has faith in Williams, Williams have faith in him. He feels good there, there's not too much pressure, he can perform as best as he possibly can. Whether that be qualifying P18, or whether that be finishing the race in P15. He's doing what he has to do. The car might be a little overweight, it might be fat, it might be heavy, like Warlock the Destroyer. But one day, who knows, they might be up there. And for the second driver, this might be a bit contradictory to everything that Williams have been going through. They replaced Nicholas Latifi, a very poor driver, with a rookie who was even worse than the replacement. Replacements are meant to be good, but this, it wasn't the move to replace Latifi with Logan Sargent. And, you know, being realistic, they probably now should go with the driver with a bit more experience, aka that being Carlos Sainz. But Carlos Sainz, I don't see him being too interested in that seat, and therefore I don't believe that will happen. I think they'll be backed up into another little dark hole, like Williams usually is. And a driver in Formula 2 that is dominating the scene, a driver in Formula 2 that was dropped from Mercedes, zero associations with any other team, but is leading the championship by a decent margin, been by far the most consistent driver, and honestly, been a massive surprise to everyone. I think that second Williams seat is going to be taken by Paul Aron. Ta-da! Who is he? Yeah, well, he's leading the Formula 2 championship, doing better than Antonelli, doing better than Behrman, doing better than every other driver in Formula 2, because he's leading. I think he'll take that spot because Williams, I don't see many other people wanting to go to that dire team, except for a Formula 2 rookie. There's been zero talk, zero rumors about him joining or being associated with any Formula 1 team, so I guess this is just a massive shot in the dark. But everything that I'm saying is a massive shot in the dark, because it's predictions. Who knows? I mean, it's clear and obvious, this ain't a prediction whatsoever. Ferrari, they're collecting all of the little stones that Thanos had on his fist to clench and ruin Formula 1 and start winning everything. Lewis Hamilton's joining, Charles Leclerc staying, and who knows, Newey, I think they want Newey. Is this a driver transfer for success or a driver transfer for endangerment? Will they be scrawling, battling just like Esteban Ocon and Alonso did every single race weekend? Or will they be fair play, fair game, helping the team out, helping the team succeed? I don't know, we're going to have to wait and find out, but for now, all we know is that Hamilton is replacing Carlos Sainz. That's it. It's confirmed. No predictions have to be made. Now, if we look back through the memory book of Haas, it has always been a bit iffy and offy. The drivers, oh dear. Esteban Gutierrez, not a good look. Kevin Magnussen, not sure about that one. Oh, Grosjean, has Ericsson actually hit you? Mazepin, ooh. And Mick Schumacher really couldn't replicate what his father did. Seems like Nico Hülkenberg is their only good pickup that they've ever done in Formula 1, and it's a shame to see him leave Haas. It's a shame for Haas, but it might be a better opportunity for him. And that leaves us with 2 seats that are unfilled, because let's be real, Kevin Magnussen isn't retaining that seat. 2 seats in Haas that have to be filled, and the 2 perfect drivers that are gonna make that seat become thing. For seat number 1, the primary driver, I believe that a driver that is out of contract for next season, a driver that is unwanted by many teams because of their shenanigans against other drivers, a driver who is a race winner, a driver who is an actual good driver, but sometimes maybe does a couple mistakes. Yes, this might be a driver that is hated by everyone, hated by Sergio Perez, hated by Verstappen, hated by Alonso, hated by Pierre Gasly, hated by you name it, they probably hate him. I think that Esteban Ocon will take the seat of the Haas. Haas need an experienced driver who can put up good numbers. And that Esteban Ocon currently doesn't probably have the highest market value because nobody wants him. And Haas probably will be able to afford him. So who's going to say that Esteban Ocon won't fit in nicely with that team? Now, we all know that Esteban Ocon is going to cost quite a penny. It won't be the cheapest driver, won't be the most expensive. But Haas being on that small budget that they are, they will probably need a cheap driver. And a cheap driver that will come into clutch will be a person that is heavily associated with the Haas. A driver that is probably quite obvious. A driver who has scored more points than Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly this season so far. Drum roll, no, we don't even... No. Yeah, Ollie Behrman. Now, although his season in Formula 2 hasn't been the best, is it his fault? Is it Prama's fault? Have they been screwing him up? You tell me. But the times where he has been in Formula 1, he's put Yuki Tsunoda into a spliff. He's scored another point. He's been great. His practice sessions were pretty good for someone who hasn't been in Formula 1 for a long time or been associated with Formula 1 for a long time. And I think either way, whether Haas want it or not, I think Ferrari might be pushing for Ollie Behrman to go to Haas. There's been rumours, the contract's been signed, it's just not been announced. Let's be real, it's all baloney, but I think the contract will be signed sooner or later. He deserves the race seat. He was good when Prema were actually good in 23, and he was a rookie then, and he was cooking. And now, well, he's doing good in Formula 1. Formula 2 is just a whole different story. We look past that, nobody cares. He's great, he's taken the seat. So Esteban Ocon might be a formula for absolute drama because Ollie Behrman wants to prove himself. Esteban Ocon doesn't want to lose to a rookie. Ollie Behrman cooking. We'll see if that happens, and we'll see whether it's going to be kind of dramatic or not. I'm here for the drama, though. Let's see it happen. Well then, Yuki Tsunoda, you sign a contract, and if I'm predicting that Daniel Ricciardo will go to Sauber, Audi, Kicks, whatever it's called, I think there's only one man who can replace him, and that is Liam Lawson. He was good in Formula 1, good in Formula 2, good in Super Formula. Everything that he's done is good. In Formula 1, he was actually very good, beating Yuki Tsunoda, probably maybe potentially doing similar to what Daniel Ricciardo would have done. And he deserves that race seat. Yeah, that's literally it. I just think he's going to take that seat because Daniel Ricciardo is going to move to another team. And if that doesn't happen, well, Daniel Ricciardo's got the seat. Liam Lawson, Yuki Tsunoda, RB. And last but not least, yet again, this isn't a prediction, but McLaren, they've obviously secured Lando Norris. He isn't going anywhere. He is the closest thing to a championship that McLaren currently have. Because Alonso, he left. Daniel Ricciardo, he had his teething troubles with that car, or cars. And, well, then now they have Piastri in replacement of Daniel Ricciardo. And he's doing all right, and the amount of money they've dumped into him, getting rid of Ricciardo's contract, 20 odd million, his salary, I don't think it's going to be worth saying bye-bye to him either. And I don't think they want to, because Piastri will shape up to be a great driver. No predictions from McLaren because, well, the drivers are signed, nothing's going to happen. Be 100% realistic. Come on. Anyway, with that said, hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know down in the comments if you think that my predictions are wrong, or you think something else. Let me know down in the comments. I might read them, might like them, make them funny, because otherwise it's boring. Whilst you're down there, like and subscribe, otherwise you're not real, you're a fake and a fraud, and don't die, because you can't watch the videos. That makes me sad. The whole world is in tears. Have a safe and fantastic rest of your day. Don't die, and pooch.
That's all, folks.